Hey everyone, it's Main here, and welcome back to another Old School RuneScape video. With Raging Echoes dropping on the 27th, I'm so pumped to dive into one of the best game modes we've seen in OSRS history. Whether you're a League's veteran or totally new to the scene, this video is going to give you everything you need to know. From understanding the basics to planning your strategy for maximum fun and rewards, Leagues has always brought that refreshing, intense twist to RuneScape. So let's break down what you can expect this time around. Now I know what you're thinking. What's the hype with Leagues? I don't even know what Leagues is. Let me set it up for you. Today I'll be covering the fundamentals of how Leagues work, a bit of its history, strategies for setting yourself up for success, based on your playstyle of course, and whether you're looking to blast through PVM, get creative with skilling, or go for that prestigious dragon trophy, I've got it all covered. Alright, so what is Raging Echoes? For those who haven't played Leagues before, this is OSRS's temporary game mode where players have a set time to complete tasks all over the game map. It's like one huge achievement diary, except tasks range from basics, like cooking shrimp, to unique high-level PVM challenges. The more tasks you complete, the more points you earn, which you can use to unlock new regions and relics. Speaking of regions, you can unlock regions by completing League tasks. League tasks reward points for each task completed, some rewarding more than others. Just by playing the game normally, you will be racking up these points at an astronomical amount, so don't worry about the amount. As for how you spend the points, you can use the points to unlock powerful relics such as the ones I'm displaying on screen now. At the time of recording this video, all the relics haven't been released yet, so I'm not going to go through each relic individually, but I might do videos later on down the line covering each relic if you're interested. One of the coolest things about Leagues is that you make it your own experience. Maybe you want to make a wilderness-locked Iron Man, or maybe the desert is more your fancy. It's up to you in the end, and there's no wrong choice. Kandarin! Okay, maybe there are some wrong choices, but at the end of the day, it's all about having fun, and whatever you find fun, that's important. In Leagues, everyone starts on a fresh Iron Man account, meaning no trading or help from others. But here's the kicker, you'll have unlimited run energy, 5 times experience rates, and passives that totally change the game. Now here's the juicy part. Every point you earn in Leagues contributes to League rewards currency. Once the Leagues is over, you can spend these points on cosmetic items, or items you can sell in the Grand Exchange for your main account, and beyond points, your rank is permanent. Players earn trophies based on the amount of points they earn, ranging anywhere from bronze, silver, all the way up to the elusive dragon trophy. This time, and the previous Leagues, they changed it so ranks aren't about being in the top 1%, but instead they're based on reaching a specific point threshold. So you can actually see what point threshold to aim for if you want the dragon trophy. In Raging Echoes, you'll be picking regions one by one, each with its own unique tasks and benefits. Choose one that matches your goals. Each area offers something special for scaling PVM or unique items. With new supercharged bosses called Echo Bosses, we have some high-level content to go for no matter what region you pick. Now earlier, I mentioned that Kandarin was a bad choice, so let's start with that. In previous Leagues, Kandarin was one of the best regions to start for early game points and late game rewards. You would be able to complete quests like Tirannwn Village and the Waterfall quest for juicy early combat experience, and get the previously overpowered Occult Necklace. This time around, Kandarin seems to be far outshadowed by other regions, with the Occult Necklace being adjusted with the combat rebalance changes. It's hard to find a reason to still pick this area. That being said, it's still going to give us early game power in terms of easy to complete tasks, but it will also be giving us the Echo Boss version of Thermonuclear Smoke Devil. If you're lucky enough to get the reward Devil's Element, a magic offhand that supplies infinite elemental runes and even boosts your damage with elemental weakness by up to 200%. In previous Leagues, Kandarin also supplied us with the powerful melee prayer Piety and gave us access to demonic gorillas which drop the Zenite Shard or Zenite Shard and allow us to craft powerful jewelry. Now that we've talked about the elephant in the room, let's go over other regions and see exactly what is to offer in each unlock. As I said before, we have Misthalin and Karamja to start already unlocked for us. These regions, although lacking in the Echo Boss department, have some serious buffs this time around. With the release of Wildgothic Sleeps and Defender of Varrock, we have access to some pretty powerful items early on. With boosted drop rates in Leagues, we'll have a much easier time gaining access to the Zombie Axe from Armored Zombies, located just above the dig site in a cave. This powerful weapon with good slash and crush bonuses is surely to get you through any early combat or slayer. Speaking of early combat, we have access to another addition this League, Scurious the Rat King. If you haven't fought this boss yet, let me just give you a brief overview. Curious is an early game boss with low level requirements that rewards you with decent drops but even better combat EXP. If you're looking to train melee, ranged, or even magic stats, this is one of the best ways to do so. And you're going to need to train these stats because while Gothic Sleeps brings us Tormented Demons, a higher level greater demon that has the ability to drop not only the Tormented Synapse, but the Burning Claws as well. Think of the Burning Claws as baby dragon claws that also apply a burn, but the more important item is the Tormented Synapse, or more so, what they turn into. The Synapse is able to transform into the Emberlight, the Scorching Bow, and the Purging Staff, all of which are Demon Bane weapons that are going to be insanely useful for killing all sorts of demons, including a certain Echo boss. The great thing about this leagues is that you don't need the Arclight to make the Emberlight. I believe you don't even need the Magic Longbow or the Battle Staff to make the Purging Staff. You can just right-click the item and transform it into whatever Demon Bane weapon you want. Next up on the list is Asgarnia, a very popular region for its access to the Mining Guild, God Wars Dungeon, and the Taverley Dungeon. Players can expect to get good gear for every style in this region, but let's go over the major differences between leagues and the main game, as there's simply too much to go over in this video. Let me know if you guys want me to do specific region videos, and I'll see what I can do. The major differences between leagues and the main game this time around is that we don't have to have all the Desert Treasure 2 bosses to make the Soul Reaper axe from Whisperer, and the Bellator ring will drop fully completed. We also don't need access to the desert to unlock the Eternal Boots from Cerberus, they will just drop completed. Speaking of Cerberus, Cerberus will be the Echo boss for Asgarnia, and I gotta say, this is by far the best named weapon in the game. The Dog Sword has the combined special attack of all the God Swords in one, making this probably the most sought after special attack weapon. Cerberus looks like it's going to be a tough encounter, and I can only imagine what they're going to do with the ghosts in an Echo version of this boss. Next, we have the desert, a place so deserted nobody goes there. Okay, just kidding. This region is packed with things to do for a desert. When you choose the desert, you unlock Temperos, Guardians of the Rift, and our first raid of the video, Tombs of Amascut. There isn't too many changes from the main game for this region in particular, but now is probably a good time to talk about how raids work in Raging Echoes. Normally each raid has its own mega rare, but in leagues we can get all three in any raid. That means Scythe, Twisted Bow, Shadow can all come from any of the raiding regions. Other than Toa, we have the new Echo boss variant of Calphite Queen. And if you're lucky enough, you will be rewarded with the Drygore Blowpipe, an upgraded blowpipe with the same effects as the Osmund's Fang, but on a ranged weapon. This thing is absolutely gonna blast in raids. I can't wait to see what people do with this. Next up is the Fremennik region. In previous leagues, you were forced to go this region if you wanted to make the Desert Treasure 2 rings. But now with the changes, this region might seem a little redundant. By unlocking this region, you also gain access to the Ava's devices, as this quest is auto-completed upon choosing this region, although you'll still need to actually get the Vorkath head to get your backpack. This region is boss-packed content, especially with the new Echo bosses. That's right, I said bosses, plural. We have to head down to the Waterbirth Island dungeon to fight every Iron's favorite boss encounter, the Dagannoth Kings. These bosses, although can be soloed in the normal game, are master difficulty and solo only, so be prepared for a difficult encounter with the Echo version. With this difficulty spike comes an even bigger spike in power. If you're lucky enough, you will be rewarded with one of the two Echo items, the Amulet of the Monarchs and Emperor Ring, two best-in-slot pieces of jewelry that are by far the strongest items we have seen yet. You're bound to second guess not choosing this region. Coming up, we have Kourend, also known as Zeah, a region that brings an insane amount of variety in both PvM and skilling content. In previous leagues, Zeah was the go-to if you wanted to access Chambers of Xeric, one of OSRS's most popular raid experiences. Unlocking Zeah also auto-completes a handful of quests, including A Kingdom Divided, which gives you immediate access to the powerful Archaeus spellbook. For PvM, Kourend is packed with bosses and strongholds, including the Catacombs, which house a variety of Slayer monsters. We have the infamous Chamber of Xeric and the Alchemical Hydra at Mount Kourend. For players looking to snag a Hydra's Claw or a Hydra's Leather for their best-in-slot upgrades, you'll be happy to hear that you actually don't need Kandarin to make the Dragon Hunter Lance, or the Ferocious Gloves, or the Bone Crusher Necklace. These will just drop as completed items. Along with this, you'll also be happy to hear that Kodai Wand is fully completed when it drops. Zeah is a region you'll be hard-pressed to skip. Whether you're looking for strong bosses, skilling gains, or some of the rarest items in the game, Zeah is sure to deliver. After Kourend, we arrive in Morytania, a powerhouse region loaded with high-end PvM content. This area is home to the Nightmare, the new Slayer boss Araxor, the Barrows minigame, the Theater of Blood, and the classic Slayer Tower. Speaking of the Slayer Tower, it hosts the formidable Grotesque Guardians, Morytania's unique Echo boss. These twin guardians are going to be tougher than ever, but they come with some impressive rewards. Their drops include completed Guardian boots, and if you're lucky, the highly sought after Gloves of the Damned. These gloves amplify the effects of all Barrow sets, turning Morytania into a one-stop shop for gearing up across all combat styles. If you're interested in these set effects, I recommend you pause the video now. Okay, you got it? With the Gloves of the Damned, each set's potential reaches new heights, allowing you to wield Morytania's most formidable Barrows gear across all combat styles. Whether you're preparing for the Nightmare, the Theater of Blood, or maybe another raid, this region's rewards can be essential for maximizing power and versatility. The Elven Forest, Tirannwn, is historically a stronghold for range users, but is reimagined in the Raging Echoes League, opening up a diverse combat opportunity across all styles. Whether joining friends to take down Zalcano or engaging in stealthy pickpocketing for elf teleport crystals, this region brings something for everyone. Speaking of something for everyone, the highlight here is the Crystal Blessing, which can drop from the Echo variant of the Corrupted Huntlift. That's right, we're going back to Red Prison. Equipable in the ammunition slot, it enhances accuracy and damage bonuses from the crystal armor to also affect all melee weapons, expanding its effectiveness far beyond ranged combat alone. Additionally, when receiving the Magic Fang drop from Zulrah, it automatically transforms into a Toxic Trident, providing players with a potent magical weapon that comes ready for use in PvM encounters. Something I wanted to talk about briefly is just how strong this region can be as your third pick. It kind of covers all three styles of combat extremely well, and let's say you're a mage and you still get the Crystal Blessing, that's going to provide you with a really strong melee and ranged without needing to pick a relic or combat mastery for it. A new region approaches. Welcome to Varlamore, a new land of both mystery and danger that offers a whole range of experiences and unique challenges. And with this being its first League appearance, there's a whole bunch of content that we have never seen in the history of Leagues. Starting off with Moons of Peril, we get a PvM experience that will empower players with 3 unique armor sets, each corresponding to their respective boss. You can get the powerful melee weapons and armor with the Blood Moon set, a blowpipe-like ranged weapon that applies a burn when worn with the full Eclipse set, and in my opinion, the Blue Moon set is the most underrated. With both melee strength and magic percent damage, it's actually a decent hybrid set for raids. Speaking of raid-like challenges, the Fortis Coliseum stands out as Varlamore's Echo Boss challenge, where players can jump directly into the battle after completing the regular Coliseum one time. They can just go straight to the empowered version of Soul Heredit without going through any of the waves. Now, defeating this Echo Boss is going to be the toughest thing in the league, but it comes with guaranteed rewards, both the Sunlight Spear and the Sunlit Bracers. With the first one being a spear that builds up sunlight stacks with each hit, stacking up to 20. Its special attack doesn't use special energy, instead it consumes 7 stacks to hit all nearby targets with amplified damage based on the player's prayer bonus. The Sunlit Bracers offer a strong defensive advantage, doubling all healing received and stacking additively with other healing sources like blood spells, the Blood Fury Amulet, Uthin set, and many more. Something to note about this region, it introduced 2 double-hitting weapons, the Glacial Hammers and the Blood Moon Boppers. Both have a 2-hit mechanic that's sure to change some combat strategies across the league. I even have a theory that they're going to introduce some sort of combat mastery that has to do with these weapon mechanics. The Wilderness in the Raging Echoes League is full of challenges and rewards, but the Wilderness works a little bit differently in leagues. PvP deaths are now treated like PvM deaths, with lost items moving to a gravestone that appears at your respawn location. Loot keys are disabled, and PvM deaths remain unaffected, making the Wilderness slightly less punishing. If you're in for a world of punishment though, the Echo version of the King Black Dragon's got you covered. Once you got the Echo Orb as a drop from the regular King Black Dragon, you can unlock the powerful Echo variant permanently. And in my opinion, you're gonna want to unlock this boss, because the King Black Dragon will drop not 1, but 2 Echo items. The first being a one-handed slash weapon, the Thunder Kopash. It has a passive effect where standard attacks have a 20% chance to trigger a lightning bolt, hitting everything in a 3x3 area around the target for 50% of your max hit. This weapon also deals full damage against the corporal piece, so it'll be a much easier time getting your Elysian shield. The second echo item from the wilderness is the 1000 Dragon Ward, an offensive shield that grants immunity to various status effects, and on top of that, it boasts combat stats better than the Avernic Defender, making it the top tier offhand option. As you can see, there's so much to do in Leagues that it's kinda hard to wrap up in one video. I'm surprised I even got this far. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe, and I will be doing more Leagues content going forward, and I do plan to stream my Leagues opening, at least the first couple days, on my Twitch. You can find the links for that below. I also want to say a huge thanks to Jagex and the OSRS wiki. I definitely couldn't have made this video without any of their resources, and I also want to thank OSRS Beats for the music. Anyway guys, thanks for watching, and I hope you look forward to more videos. Peace!